Assalamualaikum and hi to TS Dr. Muhammad Shariman Adnan, Mr. Tajuddin bin Majahi and everyone who's watching this video. I am Megat Iskandar Shah bin Megat Syarul Anwar, a final year student from School of Mechanical Engineering, College of Engineering, University Technology Mara. I am supervised by IR Dr. Nur Azlina Muhammad Saleh throughout my final year project. I would like to present for my final year project 2 entitled Gamification Approach for Interactive Learning of Lean Manufacturing Activities. For your information, my previous FYP title was Lean Manufacturing Improvement Activities at Highcom Die Casting Sdn Bhd. But I had to change the topic due to challenges and also restriction of Movement Control Order MCO in the state of Selangor that prohibited me from visiting the workplace. The contents of my presentation will be as follows. Before moving any further, I would like to give an insight of my FYP project title. It covers 4 different aspects. The first one will be interactive learning. It is a learning method that encourages independent study through the use of computer technology and electronic media, in which it utilizes virtual platform. I intended to integrate gamification approach with interactive learning, in which the games will be utilized as self-assessment module for user. So what is actually gamification? It is the application of typical elements of game playing, integrating it in interactive learning, meaning using game-based elements to drive their engagement and help students assimilate new information and test their knowledge. Next, lean manufacturing. It is a production method that minimizes or eliminates waste, or known as non-added values within manufacturing activities that enhance productivity of a manufacturing system. Lastly, interactive learning platform. It is a virtual platform to experience interactive learning that integrates gamification approach. Moving on to introduction of my FYP title. Gamification approach has been widely utilized since the last decade due to the emerging era of digitalization and technological advancement that urge society to implement technology in various fields, such as business, workplace, and of course, education. The concept is likely similar to traditional games such as Congkak and Batu Seremban that intend to educate younger generation to count and observe. But for gamification approach in educational technology, it focuses on integrating games as a part for learning in a specific topic. Interactive learning can be considered as the right stance to utilize gamification approach to support educational growth, especially during this pandemic, that urge learners for online distance learning, or known as ODL. An interactive learning platform needs learning materials subjected to the specific topic, which allows users to have access and control over the learning session. Lean manufacturing is the chosen topic for this project, as many studies expect that manufacturing industry is rapidly developing, which it is a becoming more important industry to support economic growth and meeting customer demands. Therefore, it is important for society, current and future lean practitioners to learn on lean manufacturing and prepare themselves in adaptation of lean manufacturing industry. There are two objectives on conducting this FYP. Firstly, to design and simulate an interactive learning platform of lean manufacturing using gamification approach. Second, to develop lean manufacturing-based games that enable self-assessment for user. Meanwhile, for scope, the project focused on developing a virtual lean manufacturing education platform that utilizes integration of gamification approach with interactive learning method. And the project includes simulation of production lines that are designed based on theoretical aspects. It is just to give a clear illustration of real production system to users. Moving on to problem statement. Manufacturing companies commonly encounter lack of production efficiency, regardless they are doing well in their business. It might be because they does not apply adequate lean approaches. Most of industry workforces, including future graduates, are still lacking of lean manufacturing knowledge, as only theory was being taught during their studies. The practical aspects were still lacking. Moreover, studies about the effectiveness of gamification in engineering courses are still limited. Hence, this study intends to apply gamification approach equipped with self-assess module for students to rate themselves regarding their performance and understanding on lean manufacturing activities. Moving on to methodology, I would like to explain on the planned operational flow of the interactive learning platform. The platform for interactive learning and gamification was designed according to the operational flow illustrated in the left-hand side. The operation starts with topic selection that are provided in files. Upon choosing the topic, users will have to choose which option they intend to use, either interactive learning or gamification. The first option will be tutorial that indicates interactive learning session. An interactive learning media that includes learning material of the chosen topic will be published to their screen when user chooses this option. The concept of each learning material is practically similar, which includes short notes, lecture audio, animation, and also pop-ups. These features will appear during the interactive learning session that promotes interactivity. User is able to insert their own input to move to previous or skip lecture slides via interactive buttons provided, and rewind or forward the learning material media player. Moreover, the platform enables them to jump backward or forward slideshow by clicking the slide number. Upon finishing the interactive learning session, user may proceed to practice for a game session or simply end the learning session. Meanwhile, for the second option is gamification platform. There are 9 games provided that assess user in different topics. Upon selecting the game, an interactive game instruction by means of text and audio will be published. User may move forward or backward in the slideshow via interactive button provided. During the game session, user will need to choose their input. As soon as they click the submit button provided, the correct best option or incorrect answer will be published to their screen. In order to achieve the planned operational flow, it requires several other methods. The first one would be developing the learning material. I have used Active Presenter software to develop these learning materials. I have classified 2 types of learning material, in which the first would be lean manufacturing basic knowledge that include its definition, waste category, and also principles of lean tools such as 5S, value stream mapping, line balancing, Kanban, and many more. While the second type of learning material focuses on in-depth tutorial of lean tools. In overall, the topics involved are as follows. The concept of developing these learning materials are basically the same. I would like to explain it in a few steps. Step 1. Provide definition and purpose of utilizing the tool. Include its development stage, if any. Step 2. Provide information for standard format of the tool. Step 3. Provide step-by-step explanation on how to utilize the tool. Remember to highlight the important points. Step 4. Include pop-ups and term definition if necessary. Step 5. Include formulas and calculation steps, if any. Lastly, just indicate learning session closure that remarks the end of learning session. Moving on to another methodology, which is interactivity features of the design learning module. Several interactivity features are designed to improve the learning experience of user throughout the module. Features such as lecture voice, working steps tutorial, pop-ups, and action buttons. These features do have their own parameters that can be adjusted accordingly. Audio files were inserted on each page of learning module that acts as a tutor to provide guidance for user going through the module. Rewind or skip the learning module are enabled by means of action buttons that are set to previous or skip slides in the learning module. These are some of the action buttons interactivity features, but I usually use on slide features and also pop-up displays. The pop-ups and audio in learning materials was synchronized using these features. I have to alter pop-up's appearance and align it with lecture audio. When the current playtime passes through the synchronized pop-ups and audio, it should appear like this.
Step 9. Counting and record each process work in progress, or in short WIP. This is an example of WIP monitoring result. Step 10. Write down maximum WIP quantity. Step 9.
Next, production line simulation. Virtual production lines were simulated using FlexSim software to visualize virtual environment of production that helps in providing clearer illustration for users to observe and understand processes involved in production line. Three different layouts of production line were simulated that represent an initial production system after Kaizen approach was implemented, and one piece flow production system. These layouts are included as videos in gamification platform in which user will need to observe this production line and answer the question attached in the game. Initial production system indicates an initial production layout that was simulated to visualize a production floor before implementing any lean tools to reduce non-value added activities. The simulated production lines are then being analyzed. As shown in the table, effectiveness of production system will increase respectively from initial production layout, after Kaizen, and one piece flow, as it shows improvement in terms of reduction in inventory level, more output, lower lead time, and also enhanced line balancing in these three production systems respectively. The table also shows comparison between output after 8 hours of production for all three production lines that was designed for line observation game. Initial production layout indicates the least output with huge inventory, followed by production layout after Kaizen approach was implemented, and one piece flow indicates highest output with no inventory as there is no stock in queue. Another production line was also simulated to act as a virtual environment for user to apply value stream mapping. The flow of the production layout was clearly visualized in the video so that user can clearly see the flow for them to map the VSM. Next, developing game platform using Active Presenter software. A total of 9 games were developed that are related to the developed learning materials, which are 5S, Lean Manufacturing Basic Definition, and many more. These games are based on two types, which are drag and drop and also multiple choice question. Users are required to choose their game topic, listen to the interactive game instruction, and provide their input in the game. In several topics of the design game, drag and drop features was included as the game base, which requires user to drag answer option to the desired area. This method is the simplest yet most effective game features as it can be utilized in filling blank charts, mapping, and definition matching games. Meanwhile, for multiple choice question, it was utilized in line observation game as mentioned before. The 3 sets of multiple choice question will be asked to user according to the simulated videos, and the answer feedback will be published when the user click the submit button. Next, developing feedback and responses. Feedback and responses for users' submitted answer is indeed necessary for them to self-assess themselves upon playing the games. In order to create feedbacks and responses, a feedback layer, or known as feedback master, and responses must be designed to correctly publish the best answer option or correct answer compared to users' answer input. These features can be adjusted accordingly. Moving on to the last part of my presentation, findings. I have managed to develop a total of 7 interactive learning materials that were successfully developed by including several interactivity features such as action buttons, media player, lecture audio, and also pop-ups. The materials were exported via hypertext markup language, or known as HTML, which enables users to open both interactive learning and game platform via internet browser. The raw files of this platform will not be distributed and published to users to ensure its originality. Users will only need the HTML files to open these platforms. These learning materials were tested before being published, and each of them operates well. All notes, audio, pop-ups attached in each learning material were displayed correctly during testing of interactive learning session. These figures show some of the contents of learning module that will be published. I have also successfully developed the game module. A total of 9 lean manufacturing based games were successfully developed. These games were also exported via HTML, which is the same method as interactive learning. Every design feature in each game was operating and displayed correctly. The drag and drop feature, quizzes, and also multiple choice question was correctly operated after several times of testing. These are the preview of the developed games. Feedback and responses. Feedback of each game was also displayed correctly, which the correct, incorrect, and best answer option was displayed as per design. The outcome of these feedbacks would allow users to self-assess their understanding and skills by reviewing their answer to the respective feedback. These are the examples of how the feedbacks and responses will be published. As the modules have been completed, I have successfully developed a HTML-based interactive learning platform. A document consisting of all topics covered in the interactive learning platform will be provided in which enables user to choose their desired topic. As the user selects the topic, four options will be provided for user to choose, which consists of demonstration, tutorial, test, and practice. But I have shortened it into two categories only, in which upon clicking tutorial, learning material of the selected topic will be published on user screen for learning session. Meanwhile, game that is related to the chosen topic will be published upon clicking the practice button and the game session begins. This is an example on how the platform will be published.
We will be learning on the topic Lean Manufacturing.
What is lean manufacturing? Lean manufacturing is a production method that demand along with most manufacturing companies, which Mr. Taiki Ono, a pioneer of Toyota production. The first type of waste is overproduction. Employee waiting for another. It is an extra physical motion that does not add value to the product. Lean tools. The first type of waste. Lean tools. Several lean tools intended to be value stream mapping, 5S principle that consists of this method. Kanban. Kanban is a lean tool, standardized data collection method of the production. Any manufacturing system is standardized work, SW. There are various you will need to determine the correct definition for lean manufacturing waste. Drag and drop the correct definition of each lean manufacturing waste.
I have recently tested the platform to 28 students of world-class manufacturing course from School of Mechanical Engineering UITM. I classified their feedbacks into three different categories, which are learning input, technical, interest, and motivation. For learning input, the platform received mostly positive feedbacks. Only one of the 28 students feels neutral about the learning input of the platform. Meanwhile, for technical feedback, most of them gives positive feedback. However, minority shows neutral and slight dissatisfaction towards the technical aspects. Again, only one out of 28 students showed minor dissatisfaction that was specifically on the lecture audio and also smoothness of drag and drop game. Despite it was just minor issue, I take note on these issues and I suggest future developers to emphasize these issues. For interest and motivation, most of the feedbacks are positive and only some are neutral. Based on these feedbacks, none of them shows demotivation or lose interest in using the learning platform. Last but not least, conclusion and recommendation. The interactive learning platform has been successfully developed through HTML. Every feature of the platform was tested to operate well. In terms of the project impact, this project would definitely help students and lean practitioners to learn on lean manufacturing approaches. This platform also help in supporting educational technology in terms of ODL, online distance learning, which are now being utilized while we are in the midst of pandemic. And it also definitely helped the industry to educate more people about lean approaches. I recommend for future projects and future developers to utilize more interactive features for both learning media and also game to enhance better user control and engagement of the platform. The interface of the platform can also be improved by considering more creative design and interactive elements to promote user-friendly aspect and gain their attraction in utilizing the platform. And lastly, this HTML-based platform can be transferred into web-based platform so that it can be easily accessed by everyone. That remarks the end of my presentation. For any inquiry, please email or contact me via the contact appeared on your screen. Thank you for your time and stay safe.